You know, I really like it when shows just dive straight into the music, so that's what I'm gonna do. You guys, let me know how things are sounding on your end. You are my deputized assistant audio engineers. Hey, hey, hey. I got half a tank of gas, sunspots on the dash, and a shirt that smells a bit too much like you. I got a lover I don't love, a heart too tired to bluff, and a throne that I just don't think I can use. Oh, I've been trying to tell my friends that I'm aiming for the fences. Still I'm aching with that sense. Could have been happy in Meridian. Well, we lost that demon fight one long reckless night. When the sun came up, I saw I had to go. I got a lover who don't love me, guess that's just what I deserve. See, the symmetry of reaping what you sow. Oh, I've been trying to tell myself that I don't owe no one else. Still I'm aching with that sense. I could have been happy in Meridian. And do you miss me, Mississippi? Did you see how long I stalled? Oh, I let the engine idle, gave the light an extra cycle, and I tore my eyes from your door. From your door. Well, the next time that I fall, let it be hard or not at all. Pull me up, swinging from the dirt, and smile along. Tell me about your kids and wife, the house, the trees, the tidy life we always knew that you would land on. Oh, I won't stay too long. No, I've learned when to move on. Just had to see what could have been, to see you happy in Meridian. Oh, I'm so glad you're happy in Meridian. Hello guys, welcome. Happy Monday night, happy Tuesday morning to Michael in the UK. This is the very first show of my January residency here at my house. I mean, I always reside at my house, but it's my first weekly residency where I'm playing a show every Monday night. Which is funny that in pre-pandemic times, I played 150 shows a year, and now playing a show every Monday night seems like a lot of shows all of a sudden. It's very strange. I'm focusing on some songs right now that have been requested lately, or songs that I maybe haven't played in as many of my shows lately. That last tune's called Meridian. this is a tune called Tattoo. So before I dive into this, y'all let me know where you're tuning in from. I know that Michael is in the UK. And also, could someone check on Facebook? Because I'm not seeing any comments from Facebook, which makes me think maybe it's just us here on YouTube, which is honestly fine. I like YouTube a lot. But I just want to see if Facebook is working. You are really on my mind, not really all the time, not really all I find in strangers' faces. I've got my own life too, with so very much to do. No time to write songs for you or count our places. Ooh, what do I do with this tattoo? All I have left of you. Truthfully aren't my type. Not with your smile, just right. Not with your honest eyes and good graces. Honey, it's plain to see the true bridge between you and me was a beautiful fantasy. We couldn't make it. Ooh, what do I do with this tattoo? It's all I have left of you. Truthfully aren't my type. Not with your smile, just right. Not with your honest eyes and good graces. Honey, it's plain to see the bridge between you and me was a beautiful fantasy. We couldn't make it. Ooh, what do I do with this tattoo? All I have left of you. Well, hello guys. Welcome to tonight's show, 10 Songs and a Lie. Throughout the show, I will be playing songs for you. Bet you can't guess how many. And I will also be telling some stories about my life and things that have happened on the road and whatnot. I'm going to take this banner off for a moment. Boom. And maybe I'll switch it out with another banner soon. Last week we talked a little bit about some of the weird jobs that I did prior to becoming a full-time musician. I think, and it wasn't really last week, but last time I did a 10 Songs and a Lie show, I think that it was back in maybe December. And we talked about how I worked at a football game selling beer, walking up and down the stadium stairs. That was true. I want to tell you guys another story about an odd job I had. I used to work as a runner backstage at a venue in Atlanta called Chastain Amphitheater. And it was this crazy job where my job was to get there at like 8 in the morning and I'd empty out all the coolers and I would get ready for the semi trucks to come full of gear to set up a show. And then I would wait around and I'd drive all the semi-truck drivers to their hotels so they could sleep all day. And then I would wait for the tour buses to come in a little later, and the tour buses would arrive at the artists, and they'd do sound check, and then I'd drive them to their hotels, and then they'd come back I'd go pick them up for the gig and bring them back and forth to the hotel, a lot of shuttling. Also, I set up the dressing rooms with whatever they had on their riders, which was a really interesting, kind of cool job and a good way to like learn a bit about the music industry. So, a few years after I did that job, I released my record Mystery Prize, and I was sending copies of it out for press. Like I sent like 300 copies out to radio stations, and my friends were generously helping me, lick envelopes and stamps and get these things stuffed and out in the mail. And we had about 10 extras at the end. We'd gone through the whole mailing list that the radio press people had given us, and we had a few extra packages, and we thought, like, well, who should we send these to? And we sent one to Oprah, because why not? You want Oprah to hear your record, right? And we also sent one to my old boss at Chastain Amphitheater. And I tried writing him a note. I was like, "Dear Tanner, I just wanted..." No. "Hello, Tanner. I am writing to share..." No. I just couldn't figure out what to say. So finally I grabbed a piece of paper and a Sharpie, and I wrote Rebecca Loebe's writer. And I had all of these requests. Like I wanted a pony, and I wanted all green M&Ms, and I wanted a cooler full of PBR for all of the backstage runners. And I wanted Paul, who was one of the sound techs, who for some reason we fought. I don't know why I was fighting with my boss's boss, but I have issues with authority. I'm not good at having a boss, and this guy and I just really butted heads a lot. Somehow I didn't get fired, but I kept fighting with this guy, Paul, and it was known. Everybody knew that Paul and I had issues. So I put on my fake rider that I wanted Paul wrapped up in a bright red bow. And there were a few other things I asked for. I don't remember what. But anyhow, at the very bottom, I said plus a PA system for performance on the sidewalk outside of Chastain Amphitheater. Just like, ha, 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 I'm not actually asking you to book me. I wouldn't do that. That would be crazy. So I sealed it up, put it in an envelope, didn't think of it. Never heard from Tanner. I didn't know if he had heard the CD or not. And then about 6 months later, I got a call asking, and it was Tanner. And he called to ask if I'd like to open for Mary Chapin Carpenter at Chastain Amphitheater. And I thought, well, yeah, of course I would. And it was 2 weeks out or a month out. I don't know if they were going to have someone else and they canceled and then they called me. I don't know. I didn't ask too many questions, but I was like, yes, when? I'll be there, because I had never gotten to play a 6,000 seat amphitheater before. It was a big deal. So I showed up for the concert, and my best friend who had worked with me the summer that I was a runner was still working there. And she met me in the back and brought me inside and showed me my dressing room. And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't send you guys any information. I'm sure whatever you set up was fine." And she said, "Oh no, we have your rider." And I was like, "My what?" And she took me to the office where, all of the, where the binder is with all of the riders and where the production crew works. And she opens the door, and Paul, the sound tech that I had some issues with, I mean, we loved each other, but we fought. He was sitting there with a bright red bow on his chest. And he was like, "Oh, good, she's here. I can take this off." And he ripped it off. And I was like, "Joe, what else is on my rider?" And she was like, "Oh, you'll see." And she took me backstage to my green room, and there, sure enough, was a My Little Pony doll on the table and a bowl of green M&Ms. And there was also a bowl of red, blue, purple. All of the M&Ms had been sorted by color and put in individual bowls. There was a whole cooler full of PBR with a sign on it that said "For the Runners." And yeah, it was pretty hilarious. If it actually happened, that is. All right. So anyhow, all of that is maybe a drawn out way of saying that things get kind of crazy on the road. And, I'm excited to be doing these shows because it's forcing me to think about my past and about things that have happened and, remember stories to share with you guys. Because when someone says, "Hey, tell me a crazy story from the road," I just draw a complete blank because it's been a 14-year blur. But it's been long, and it's been fun, and it's been interesting. And that's kind of what this next song is about. I have traveled many fathoms, lived inside a covered wagon, sold my secrets wholesale every night. I've broken bread with petty tyrants, smuggled wine to fallen giants, battled demons right before your eyes. Now I try ocean side, battle the the sweet roar. Baby, don't let me be swallowed by the sea. I lived on hope and something graces, counted cards and stolen bases, made believe till I was making do. Now where do I draw the line between vittles and valentines? Swallowed by the sea, beckoned from the shore, tempted by the sweet roar. I don't wanna be hungry anymore, but it's getting harder to ignore. Baby, don't let me be swallowed by the sea, swallowed by the sea. I love a quiet, mighty pharaoh, reads my heart like holy tarot. Hold on, baby, please don't let me be swallowed by the sea, beckoned from the shore, tempted by the sweet roar. I don't wanna be a pawn in any war, but it's getting harder to ignore. Baby, no, let me be swallowed by the sea, swallowed by the sea. Thank you guys so very, very much. It is so nice to have you guys all here. It's funny how I'm getting kind of used to playing alone in my studio on the internet. I mean, I can't wait to play it live in person again, but I think that getting real human energy, like hearing applause after songs and laughter after jokes, I'm probably gonna like faint on stage the first time it happens, but I'm ready to give it a try. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna play you guys a song that I have not played in a while, but I'm very excited to play it. I went to high school in Georgia. I grew up in Sandy Springs, Georgia, and a lot of people kind of comment that I don't have a Southern accent because I don't sound like I came from Georgia, but I sure did. And I guess one piece of trivia that you guys might not know about me is that when I first moved to Georgia, and when I first moved to Georgia, I don't know how this happened, but somehow my mom enrolled me in a clogging troupe, which is kind of like river dancing, but with petticoats. And even in spite of that, I still love Georgia. How about that? I was diving with some friends in the river by my house. Slipped mid-sentence, lost my breath and fell the whole way down. Now I'm floating above my body, washing on the shore. Can't help but wondering what I'm drifting towards. I've always been good, I've always been fair, not 'cause I prayed he would get me anywhere, but now that forever is coming up fast, I've got one request for ya. Oh, heaven. Oh, heaven. Oh, heaven. Send me back to Georgia. If I was buried on a Tuesday, shortly afternoon, watched my mother and my sister cry in the guest room. Yeah, it's nice to see them talking, but I wish I could say, since you're wondering, she'll be okay. Yeah, since you're wondering, we'll all be okay. I've always been good, I've always been fair, not 'cause I prayed it would get us anywhere, but now that forever is coming up fast, I've got one request for ya. Oh, heaven. Oh, heaven. Oh, heaven, send me back to Georgia. Yoink! If you see him, squeeze his hand and maybe rub his back. He always shines a little brighter when someone does that. And if he's thirsty for a taste of ambrosia and wine, just sit him down in magnolia and pine. It's always hard saying goodbye, not 'cause of the ground, but because of the sky, swollen around us, holding us down till we cannot ignore it all. Heaven, oh, heaven, oh, heaven, send me back to Georgia. Ooh. Thank you guys so much. Trina, I'm glad you're liking the set list. This is the first of a 4-week residency, and I am working to have a unique set list each week, so make sure to keep coming back because there will be different songs each time, which I am quite excited about. Jim, how is the guitar level? I mean, anyone can tell me, but Jim had an opinion about it earlier, so I would love to hear it. I got this giant water bottle on Amazon. It has a really squishy, soft rubber tip, which I really like. It's got good mouthfeel. And strangely, I follow Lizzo on Instagram, and I saw that. Did I say I got that on Instagram? I got it on Amazon. Anyhow, my brain's been a little off today. I had some issues earlier where I put the wrong day of the week on my flyer. And then the show's called 10 Songs and a Lie, but I was calling it 10 Truths and a Lie because that's the name of the game originally. Anyhow, I am getting it together. I mean, we made it here, right? That's what matters. All right, cool. Just making sure I remember how to play the next song before I launch into it. So I mentioned earlier that I am from Georgia. I went to high school in Sandy Springs. This was, of course, years after I was on my clogging troupe. I was a really good clogger, by the way. So I don't talk a lot about my experience in high school. When people ask me where I went to school, because, they say, oh, you're from Georgia. Do you know such and so? Did you go to whatever school? I always say I went to North Springs High School, which I did for a year. But then I transferred to this weird little private school for a bunch of reasons. My parents were worried that I wasn't getting a good enough education in this public school. Even though we've always been big supporters of public school, but they thought I needed smaller class sizes. And so they transferred me to this weird private school that I won't name because I don't want to embarrass the 11 other people who went there. But I went to this really tiny, weird private school. And I ended up there because the headmaster, who was kind of a liar, told my parents that it was a school for gifted overachievers who needed smaller class sizes, which may have been true, but most of my classmates were like really, really wealthy kids with serious drug problems who had been kicked out of boarding school. So I ended up in this very strange high school environment. And I had a choice at the end of the year, which was to either go back to public school, which had been hard, and the classes were challenging, and I was kind of a slacker, or I could stay at this weird private school for one more year and have enough credits to graduate. So I did that. I went to summer school. I got 2 more credits than I needed to graduate. And I really didn't try very hard. I mean, I studied a bit, and it was really easy to do well in this weird private school for some reason. It's a long story. But the moral of the story is that I was valedictorian of my high school, and I never talk about it because it wasn't that big a deal because there were only like 30 kids in my graduating class. But yeah, I was 16 when I graduated high school, and I, in some ways, feel like I only have like a 9th grade education because my second high school was sort of weird and fraudulent, and then I went to music school. So bear with me when I don't know where to put commas and stuff. All right. Cool story, Becca. If this was a high school movie, you'd be the nerdy friend with better posture and a montage. You'd be a supermodel by the end, and I'd be going crazy, 'cause you are my first true blue, but you don't even notice. So busy trying to make them love you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now I've been running circles around my one-track mind, writing a list of reasons you should call me back this time. 1, I'm a decent dancer. 2, I keep my word. 3, I'll keep your secrets, even when they hurt. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Baby, baby, don't come crying to me about that big bad world you've been dying to see. want you to see some beauty first thing to start your day. But you don't even matter, 'cause you'll just give them all away. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Baby, 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 don't come crying to me about that big bad world you've been dying to see. Baby, 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 I've been here all along. Ooh, if this was a high school movie up on the silver screen, I'd try to win that Oscar here in our last big scene. I'd lay it all out for you. I'd really bare my soul. I'd start to walk away, but you come kiss me as the credits roll. The cafeteria's going crazy and everyone's holding hands. And just 'cause I like Bollywood, and then we'd all sing and dance. Ooh, ooh, Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you. It's so nice to see friendly faces. Hi, Natalie. Hello, Mark. I have not seen that Geico ad. Hello, Trina. Hello, Kent. It is so good to see you all. I appreciate you very, very much for coming. As you know, the shows that I play here on YouTube are free. You are welcome to pay for them if you'd like. It's kind of like the music industry on the balance right now. Music is pretty much available for free these days, which as a consumer of music is very fun. And music is basically paid for by the people who choose to show up and support it, which honestly, as a creator, is also kind of nice. I was just talking to somebody over at Patreon today, somebody who works there, about my personal strategy of giving everyone on my Patreon page access to everything, and then letting people determine, what they can afford and what the value of the music is. Because, when you think about it, $20 is a much more significant percentage of my personal wealth than it is to like Bill Gates. It's like, not even spend dust on his shoe. It's not worth his time to bend over and pick $20 bill up off the street. Meanwhile, some people are on fixed incomes or are struggling to make it as artists, and even taking, $1, $3, $5 out of their budget to support a musician is a huge sacrifice that I do not take lightly. And I didn't mean to go on this rant right now, but when I was talking to the guy from Patreon, who's very, very nice and was supportive of what I'm doing, but it's just kind of antithetical to the way that they suggest creators operate. His eyes kind of bulged when I told him everyone gets everything, and that I don't, let you have downloads for, stream for $1, downloads for $3, artwork for $5. I don't do it that way. Everybody gets everything. So anyhow, all of that is to say that if you enjoy my music, if you find value in it, please do feel free to support this show by tipping. There's a Venmo address and a PayPal address on the bottom of the screen. And then also, you can join me on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Rebecca Loby. I think a lot of people here, based on who I'm seeing in the chat, do follow me on Patreon. And I thank you guys so much for doing that. This song that I'm going to play right now is actually the last song I put on my Patreon page. And it was written by a very dear friend of mine. This is called Fashionistas by AJ Roach. On the banks out by the concrete lake, all the fashionistas shiver in their short summer dresses and long blonde tresses, and they're all freshly showered. And this is in June, feels like October to anyone who's clean and sober. But this last is not our specialty. How I wish it's tea that we'd been drinking. We civilize ourselves as a cry for help before it's all we have lived. Now the sun's above the angels, only let it burn so long. I broke all the wings I borrowed, and I stumbled like a stone through the darkness on towards home, to your doorstep all alone. We civilize ourselves as a cry for help, on the banks out by the concrete lake, all the fashionistas shiver. It's a song by AJ Roach, and if you do follow me on Patreon, you can find a streaming or download version of that in my most recent post. I posted it on New Year's Eve, so I think that it kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. Just sort of an end of the year treat. And also there's a link in there where you can find more of AJ's music. He's incredibly talented. He grew up in the part of West Virginia. In the part of Virginia that is west of West Virginia. And he's always adamant that he's not from West Virginia. He's from Virginia, but it is west of West Virginia. And he's actually not working as a musician right now. He's a really multi-talented guy, and he works as a computer programmer, and he's a badass, and he's sort of he's one of the funniest people I've ever met. And as he was sort of transitioning out of doing full-time music, he'd gotten some work as a computer programmer and like really enjoyed receiving regular paychecks. What a concept. And I remember seeing him at a festival, and I was like, AJ, where are you? You're not playing gigs. I miss you. I don't see you anymore. And he's like, Lobe, I'm in the folk reserves. 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year, and that's it for me. And he's not even in the folk reserves anymore. He's just semi-retired from music. Hopefully he'll be back once his kids are a bit older, I guess. Anyhow, he's amazing. I have not seen AJ this year, Mark. All right. Dan is washing his hands. I like that. Gotta wash our hands. Trina, I'm glad that you like that line from High School Movie about the Bollywood ending. I put that in there as a tribute to my stepmother, Kitty, who was a really remarkable woman. She was Indian. She grew up in Tanzania, but her parents were Indian, and they grew up in an Indian village, and she immigrated to the U.S. when she was 18 and worked as a veterinarian and was a really extraordinary person. And sadly, I talk about her in the past tense because she passed away a few years ago. And I wrote a lot of songs the year she died, and and that was one of them where I snuck a little reference in there for her. So yeah, that's where that came from. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys that in that last song, there's that line. What is it? This is in June, feels like October to anyone who's clean and sober, but that last is not our specialty. How I wish it's tea that we were drinking. I mean, the poetry of AJ Roach, you guys, poof, incredible. And speaking of tea, that's kind of a weak segue, but it reminded me that I've switched to tea. I've been a daily tea drinker now for quite a while because I find that it makes me a little less crazy than coffee. I love coffee, but it just pushes me a little too hard. Tea's a gentler high, I found. And over the holidays, I treated myself to a milk frother, which is just this little like vibrating doohickey that you put into warm milk and then suddenly it gets big and foamy, and it turns my morning coconut tea into a coconut tea latte, and it's been so much fun, and you can use it in coffee or in tea. And I bought it for myself on Amazon. So as you know, tonight is a game, 10 songs and a lie, and at the end of the show you guys will have an opportunity to guess which of the many stories I tell tonight is fake. And the winner is going to get that same tea frother or milk frother from me. I'm going to buy one on Amazon and have it shipped to your house. So pay attention and hold your guesses to the end. Keep the spoilers to a minimum. I have told my family that they're not allowed to guess. All right. What am I going to play for you guys now? I have been drinking coconut black tea, and I put milk, now frothy milk, and a little tiny dash of vanilla and a little tiny dash of stevia in it, and it is so good. I'm spoiling myself rotten. But I've been having the same morning tea now for like 6 months, so if anybody has any tea recommendations, I am open to try something new. Because variety is the spice of life, my darlings, isn't it? All right, I'm going to play a few more songs for you guys, and if anyone has any requests, now would be the time to get them in there. I'm tuning my guitar. Ooh, all the strings are slightly flat. How about that? So when I was working at Chastain, what's that guy's name? So I was working at that amphitheater in Atlanta, and one of the first people that I met all sorts of famous people. I don't think I signed a non-disclosure. I don't remember. But I think I can tell you guys this. This isn't an incriminating story. One of the first people that I met was Rick Springfield, Jesse's girl, that guy. And he was actually in his big second run on General Hospital at that point. So he was like a heartthrob. There were so many women in the audience, like practically throwing their underwear on stage. It was really funny and awesome. Anyhow, he was one of the first people that I picked up. And he requested he required in his rider that he be picked up. He'd be met by a runner with a small hot chocolate from Starbucks. Had to be hot, had to be hot chocolate, had to be from Starbucks, had to be in a small cup. So I got him a small hot chocolate, and he turned out to be a really nice guy. We chatted a lot on the way to and from the show. And backstage, we were talking about guitar stuff. And I mentioned that I was a musician. I didn't always tell people that I was a musician because it's not really all that cool, but he had been nice enough, I felt comfortable saying it. So I told him, and he was changing guitar strings, and he showed me a trick for changing guitar strings where he takes it up like 2 inches and then pulls it down a whole fret, brings it in at a right angle, ties it under, pulls it around, and then tightens it. And then, basically he taught me how to change my guitar strings, which my dad had taught me when I was younger, and I knew how to do, but I did it in a very inefficient manner. And now, thanks to Rick Springfield, I do it much better. So how about that? Yes, Trina, I will happily teach you how to, not teach you, I'll happily play flying for you. All right. I really miss playing with my band. I really miss sweet Gary Newcomb and how beautifully he would play guitar with me on this song. So you just have to imagine him. Grandma wasn't happy. The buttons on her dress buckled under pressure, battling her breast. My face and hands were dirty. I didn't stand a chance with her that way. Nothing I could do, nothing I could say to make her believe what I had done that day, but I would would swear that I was flying. The horses in their harness were dirtier than me. Down beside the river we had run till we were free. So I was late for supper, missed my father for the night. But tell me how the time a man could reach me in mid-flight. Nothing I could do, nothing I could say to make her believe what I had done that day. But I would swear that I was flying. She's frowning, but not at me. Deep, deep, deep down, I think she's glad to see me flying. What is it to grow up, to trade in all your wings for sauerkraut and housecoats, the news the mailman brings, for chocolates you ration to children in your care who have no use for combs or soap or brushing out their hair? What else can you do? What else can you say to make them believe in gravity and pain? I guess you pray to God they're really flying. Oh, let us pray. Let us pray they're really flying. Oh, let us pray. Let us pray they're really flying. Thank you so much. Mark, I love the idea of playing Southern Man. Let me quickly look up the lyrics. Excuse me. So I have a question for you guys, which is, did anybody set any New Year's resolutions, any intentions, any goals, anything you're working towards this year? I set one resolution for myself, which I mentioned the other day on Instagram, but I could tell you again if you'd like to know. My general goal here this year is to go a little easy on myself and to kind of to not push myself too hard and to focus on creativity a bit more. So anyhow, that's more of just a mindset than a resolution. The one resolution that I made is to not agree to do anything in the same conversation in which I'm asked to do it. And to sort of as an extension of that, to also not make any huge plans for myself in the same thought process in which I have the initial idea, if that makes sense. So conversations include conversations with myself, because I tend to get really excited. You know, I want to say yes to people when I'm asked to do stuff, and I have so many ideas about stuff to do. All right, I have to look up the chords too. It's not coming back to my fingers, but I'll get there, guys. I get so excited, and I have so many ideas that I want to execute, and I end up overcommitting myself, and then I'm not able to be impeccable with my word like I want to be, like in the 4 agreements, and I'm not able to rest enough and create at the level that I want. So anyhow, that's my whole life goal right now, is to just commit to less and follow through on what I do commit to more. I like resolve not to make resolutions. That's a good one. All right, guys, I am going to cover this for you guys right now. There is a video of me doing it. There's a video of me doing this with Andrew Pressman, which I really like that video. I haven't played it in a while, though. I'm covering it for Mark in honor of AJ. And we're going to see what happens together. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Southern man, better keep your head. Don't forget what the good book says. Southern man gonna change. Southern change gonna come at last. Now your crosses are burning fast. Southern man. There it is. I saw cotton and I saw black, tall white mansions and little shacks. Southern man, when will you pay them back? I heard screaming and bullwhips cracking. How long, how long, how long? Ooh. Southern man, better keep your head. Don't forget what the good book says. Southern change gonna come at last. Now your crosses are burning fast. Southern man. Lily Bell, your hair is golden brown. I've seen your black man coming round. Swear by God I'm gonna cut him down. I heard screaming and bullwhips cracking. How long, how long, how long? Southern man, better keep your head. Don't forget what your good book says. Southern change gonna come at last. Now your crosses are burning fast. All right. Thanks for the request, Mark. Thanks for your request, Trina. That was a really fun one to sing. Hadn't done that in ages. I'm pretty sure that was kind of close to my arrangement. That's on the record of Vittles and Valentines. And the version that's on that record is the version that I recorded with Andrew Pressman on an upright bass, and that's it. And we recorded it on the front porch of the recording studio. Why are you rattling? Stop rattling. I've been playing this guitar lately because if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that my beloved Baird guitar, made by a friend of mine in Arkansas, I've been playing the bejesus out of it for the past few years on the road, and it got a giant crack which I found out from the guy who fixed it was actually 4 cracks, 1 big crack and 3 like small micro cracks around it. He said it's kind of like a windshield where it gets a little nick and then it just expands. So I've called my dad's guitar back into service. It had been enjoying retirement. This guitar is from the 60s. I will say that during that last song I was thinking a lot, couldn't help it, about the elections that are happening tomorrow. I have a lot of friends in Georgia. I'm not sure any of them are watching this webcast, but if you happen to be watching from Georgia, please, 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 oh please, please, please go vote tomorrow if you haven't already. And it's certainly worth texting your friends and reminding people. I don't know how they could forget, but reminding people that this election is happening and that there's a lot at stake. And if you want my advice, which maybe you don't, I would recommend voting against the people who sold stock after a secret briefing about coronavirus and profited off the pandemic. That's just me. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but that one's mine. Anyhow, here's a little tune. Hope y'all like it more than the person I wrote it for did. Must be hard to be the smartest guy you'll ever know. Can't be fun to be too dumb to just let that go. You give when you want to take. You push when you want to pull away. Pass on your every turn. Laugh it all off until you burn. Down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby, down. The phones are ringing, but the birds are weighing down the lines. Your eyes are blinking, but your mind has flown a million miles. You hide when you want to seek. You cry when you want to show your teeth. Say what you want to hear. Fall like a warning on deaf ears. Down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby, down. And of course it's been fun, but this course has been run. You can stand your ground, but it's holding you down. Down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby. Down, down, down to the wire. Down, down, down to the blue of the fire. Down, down, down to the wire, baby. Down. Down. Thanks, guys. I've just got a couple more. I'm going to play one more song, and then we will arrive at the moment of truth. Truth, 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 truth. I'm going to be doing this show every week for the next month, and I'm very excited to get a slightly more regular performance schedule together. I will also be performing this Friday, the 8th, virtually with my band Nobody's Girl on the Club Passim stream with special guest Liz Longley. I'm obsessed with the show 30 Rock, and I almost said Liz Lemon. I had to stop myself and be like, don't say Liz Lemon, don't say Liz Lemon, don't say Liz Lemon. Oh, Miss Shaw, I am so glad to hear you say that about Raphael. That's wonderful. And I know you're a great judge of character. And I know that a lot of the ads that I have seen coming out of Georgia against him are pretty despicable. So I'm glad to hear you are happy with him as a candidate. And I really hope that you get to have him as your representative, because having lived most of my life in Georgia and Texas, I have not often had representatives who I felt really represented me very well. Oh, yeah. That's great. I love hearing that so much. All right, yeah, I've sent what I can to both of them, and I really hope for the best tomorrow. Okay, I'm also probably gonna not be on social media for the next few weeks. All right, well, we've been talking a lot about Georgia and about my time in the South today. So I thought I'd play you guys this tune for my Record Mystery Prize. This is a song about a true story. I swear it's true. I swear. Would I lie to you guys? This is a song about some late night post-show shenanigans. They did not take place in Georgia. They took place in Greenville, South Carolina, in an establishment located inside of a double-wide trailer. Way too late at night. That establishment was, of course, a redneck karaoke bar. Usually, if this was a live show, I'd make you guys sing along with me, and although I can't hear you, I'd love for you to sing along at home. I'll concede that I may have led you on with a few key missing facts, or maybe just the one. Oh, I know I should be strong, but you asked my favorite song, and Rocket Man, you sang it all damn night. At the redneck karaoke bar, you screamed my name and kissed me hard. I loved you like a work of art from far away, singing la da 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 da, la da 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 da. You did not get a name for me or in my mind. It's easier that way, less to leave behind. Oh, I know I should be strong. Oh, I know that it was wrong to stay in your arms so long, but your face had put up such a pretty fight. At the redneck karaoke bar, you screamed my name and kissed me hard. I loved you like a work of art from far away, singing la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da. I left you my blue bandana in your jeans to prove it wasn't all a fantasy. Behind the redneck karaoke bar, you held me like a superstar. Against the trunk of my old car, I lied in your face, singing la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la 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 da da da, la Thank you guys so very much. So before I play you our last song of the night, I have just a few items of business to take care of. First of all, if you're watching this on YouTube, which you are because the Facebook feed died, do me a favor if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel and just click the subscribe button. It works even better if you click subscribe and then click the little bell next to it. It just means you're more likely to get a notification when I post something new on YouTube. You'll get a little note when I schedule live shows or when I go live. And also, and this is just me making a bald appeal, YouTube will prioritize me higher in things like search and browse features if I have lots of subscribers. So please do subscribe. It really does help in a tangible way. Also, if you follow me over on Instagram, make sure to check out a couple posts back. I am sharing a giveaway for this planner that my friend Betty Sue made, this really amazing planner. Here's the part of it that I'm using to plan these shows. And it's just got all sorts of like cool creative prompts. It has like pages where you can balance your checkbook register stuff. Like everything she ever wished was in a planner, she put in this planner, and it's hand-drawn and gorgeous and super cool. So please do check it out. I'd love for you to check that out. And now, with no further ado, I'm going to, it's time for the moment of truth. Truth. So, it's time for somebody to guess. And the winner will receive a gift from me in the mail. A really cool, well-made little milk frother for your morning coffee or tea. Or you can re-gift it at the next gift-giving opportunity. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So, once the winning guess is selected, do just make sure to reach out to me either on Facebook or Instagram and send me your mailing address, and I will send you your prize. So, which story was untrue? Was it A, me being on a clogging troupe when I lived in Georgia? Was it B, me working at Chastain Amphitheater and getting to play a gig there when I was a young musician? Was it C, me being the valedictorian of a weird little high school? Or was it D, learning how to string my guitar from the one and only Rick Springfield? All right, so let me know your guesses. Clogging troupe, amphitheater gig, valedictorian, or Rick Springfield teaching me to string my guitar. All right, drum roll, please. Someone's got to guess. I'm not leaving until one of you guesses. But I can play guitar to make the silence less awkward. That is a superpower I have. So far, I'm not seeing an accurate guess. Keep them coming, guys. All right, Mark Smith. We have a winner, possibly by process of elimination. It looks like Trina and Mark guessed at the same time, but I'm going to give it to Mark because Trina won last time. I love you, Trina. All right, it's really always so funny to me when the true ones get guessed before the fake one. I was on a clogging troupe. In fact, I could clog for you right now, but I'm not going to because I'm wearing pajama pants. But maybe on a future show, I will clog for you. Stranger things have happened. I did work at Chastain Amphitheater, and I did finagle my way into a gig there by sending a fake rider and had my best friend set up my fantasy dream green room. She sorted all of the M&Ms by hand for me. And I also did graduate as the valedictorian of a weird little high school. I never talk about it because it's a longer story. It was a weird high school experience. And for a while I was like a little embarrassed about it. So I just kind of pretended I went to the cool public school performing arts magnet the whole 4 years. But I actually only went to high school for 3 years. And the second 2 years were at this very strange little private school. It was not my parents' fault for sending me to this weird school. They were hoodwinked. I was also hoodwinked. And then when I got there, I decided to stay because it was easy. And I made some friends and it was fine. So anyhow, and that's how I graduated from high school at 16 and why I moved to Boston 2 weeks after my 17th birthday to enroll at Berklee College of Music. So, by process of elimination, the false story was about Rick Springfield teaching me how to restring my guitar. Now, the one true element of that story is that he does like to be picked up with a small hot chocolate from Starbucks. But that's where the truth stopped. We did not talk at all. And he definitely did not teach me how to string my guitar. Trina, you're allowed to guess anytime. All right, I'm going to play you guys one more song. I thought this was a fitting closer to the show, which is called 10 Songs and a Lie. Please do mark your calendars for next week. I'd love to see you. It'll be a whole new set list and all new stories. Invite some friends. I'm really excited about building this little weekly show together. So much for goodbyes, I mumble as you try to paint the door shut on your way. I wonder where time flies. Do birds take the months by the wing and show them how to disappear? And if so, why'd they leave me here? If all I have to do is promise not to love you, all I have to do is lie. If all I have to do is promise not to love you, all I have to do is lie. Lie awake and cry. Lie awake and cry. I've tried more, I've cared less, I've prayed for forgiveness, I've been a cold voice on the phone. But that don't make me less alone. If all I have to do is promise not to love you, all I have to do is lie. If all I have to do is promise not to love you, all I have to do is lie. Lie awake and cry. Lie awake and cry. If all I have to do is promise not to love you, all I have to do is lie. If all I have to do is promise not to love you, all I have to do is lie. If all I have to do is promise not to love you, all I have to do is lie. Lie awake and cry. Lie awake and cry. Good night, you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Thanks to people who are watching the broadcast not live and for sticking around to the end. I'm going to leave this up on YouTube in perpetuity. Thank you to everyone who has thrown money into the tip jar, either via Venmo or PayPal, and to all of my supporters on Patreon. I think a lot of you guys watching are supporters on Patreon. Thank you for helping me keep my little boat afloat. I appreciate you so much, Trina. I've got those requests for next week. Oh gosh, I haven't played On Your Mark in ages, but I will practice it for you for next week, and I can definitely play Married Man and tell you some very funny stories about where that came from. Thank you so much. This has been 10 Songs and a Lie. Please tell all your friends, and I'll see you back here next week. Same bat time, same bat station. Bye, guys.